Hello, how are you? Good to have you on my side of the mountain. I'm Chris of Krissy's Over the Mountain Crochet and Crafts, and boy did we have a big week of crafting and crocheting for Valentine's week. I gave away a free pattern every day, and on Wednesday I gave away 2 free patterns. Rather, I put them on my blog. So on Monday I released the shell cloche, and on Tuesday I released this pattern, and this was actually the favorite. I picked one. Then the second best one, I know some of you all like these little baskets here, but the second were the square nesting baskets. And let me tell you, I have plans to add fabric liners in these that are covered in cardboard also. I just haven't done that yet. I will do that as a YouTube video or just a photo tutorial. I'm not sure yet. But 6 patterns this week. These little cardboard fabric liners are just so nice. Look how nice it makes the basket so sturdy. So you have a crocheted project and a sturdy basket that you can, depending on how thick you want your cardboard is depending on how sturdy you want. But look, this is just one layer of poster board cardboard on the bottom and on the sides, and it just makes a very, very nice basket. And you know what else I like about these is you can coordinate the fabric to other areas of decor in your home. You can use your crocheted items, like for instance, do you remember a few weeks back we made this project, or I made this project. I don't know if anybody else made any of these, but I made this project. And then I was able to use the scrap left over to, let me see if I can get this in the light, to use the, oh it's so dark, to use the same red and black, there we go, red and black buffalo check. And now I have 2 coordinating storage ideas. I could take this little, I could leave this off and just have the black and white check. You know, fabric and crochet, I think, go together. Fabric, crochet, and buttons, and anything blingy, I think, goes together and goes together well. And I love creating that way. So I am going to show you how to add these cardboard flannel covered liners to these baskets. I hope you're still here, Stacy. Anyway, so I made another basket. I made a larger basket. And this is the one that we're going to put the flannel liner in it. This one is big. It's 35 inches around. Let me show you how big the bottom is. But I decided to add different stitches. Let's get started on how to make the cardboard flannel covered liner. I'll be putting a black and white buffalo check liner in this. Let me show you the fabric. This was just a scrap piece. But you'll need a 35 to 36 inch piece long of fabric. So this was just a long scrap I had. I think it was probably 42 inches, and it was only wide enough to make the liner. So this was just scrap where I'd made a lot of scarves. But if you're going to purchase fabric for this basket, you will need a 36 inch long piece of fabric, so a yard of fabric. And let me get started. Let me show you. So you need to do some measuring. The easiest way to measure, not the first thing, but the easiest way to measure is with a fabric measuring tape. And so you're going to measure around the basket. You see this? It's upside down, but it's 35 inches around. Now, I don't need to measure the base. I can measure the base, but the easiest and simplest way to do this is to just lay it on a piece of poster board. Now, this basket pattern takes an entire piece of poster board. And so you take your poster board, you lay the basket on the poster board. Let me get rid of my measuring tape. And you just take a pencil and you draw around a circle. And then you cut it out. So I've already done that for you. But there's another measurement that you need to make. I'll show you those cut pieces in a moment. You need to measure there are 3 single crochet rows here. You need to measure from, leave 1 single crochet row unmeasured, and then measure from here down to the ridge that is made when you make that high back post half double crochet, and that's 9 inches. So you're going to need a cardboard insert that is 35 inches long, 35 inches around, and 9 inches wide. Now this cardboard, this poster board piece isn't long enough, so I had to piece it, and I used a stapler to do that with. I do like to use a long plastic ruler. This really helps me in so many of my projects. So I used this to measure on the cardboard, and here is my cutout circle. Now this cutout circle, it's changing the color on me. This cutout circle is 33 inches around. And that's what you want it to be. You don't want this to be the circumference of the basket. You want it to be the circumference of the inside of the bottom from this inside ridge. So when you're tracing, you kind of stick your pencil just under the edge right there and circle it around. This piece is 33 inches. The circumference is 33 inches. So this will go in the bottom. And then I like to add a piece of sewing fleece. So I'll glue that sewing fleece onto this piece of poster board. Let me do that real quick. I have my glue gun here with me today. Let me do that real quick for you. And it doesn't take a lot of glue because your fabric is going to be over top of it. I just kind of want it to be, you know, adhered some. All right, that's good. All right, there we go. That was all there was to that. So then you need to lay this piece on your flannel fabric, and you need to cut out at least 2 to 3 inches around. Do I measure? No, I just cut it out. You don't have to. If you like to measure everything, 2 to 3 inches. But if you are like me and you just do it, I just do it so much quicker. I just cut it out. It's not even. I've got some bumps right here because it doesn't matter at this point because I'm going to be cutting. Let me see if, I'm not sure if you can see. I'm going to be cutting slits all the way around so that I can fold these in and glue it. But I want my fleece to be down on the fabric. Let me give you another tip. If you're like making this for a little girl and you want to cover it with satin, put a little bit of fleece, not fleece, but batting over top of this and make it puffy like a pillow. That would be just as easy to do. I think a little girl would like that. Let me cut these little, what do I call it? I'm just going to make these cuts. I'm just going to call them cuts, like every few inches. I'm not cutting right up to the cardboard, probably 1/4 to 3/8 inch away from the cardboard, all the way around. Now we're going to glue these pieces up. I just want to get them up. Yeah, got a glue string. I just want to get it up in there. And they can overlap, and this does not have to be neat. Let me tell you what, this doesn't have to be neat at all. Nobody's going to see it. Just get it glued in place, but you do want it to have enough of an overlap that it's not going to be messy when you put it in the basket. All right, there you go. Now, I'm in a hurry. I would go through and I would kind of, these little taggy things, I would glue those down, but I am in a hurry. Let me add another glue stick. I'm going to run out here in just a second. All right, here we go. So, we have the bottom. Look how nice, and it has a little bit of padding. It's really nice. I like to work with flannel on this too because it's not slippery. When the flannel touches the other piece of flannel, it tends to hold in place. So I do like working with flannel. Now, I want to show you the side piece that I made. I had to piece it together, and I used a stapler. Can you see? I used a stapler. I didn't glue it. I was afraid to glue it. I was afraid I would have bumps. The first basket I made, I added extra ribbon to cover some seams, and it made it bumpy. So I'm trying to avoid bumps. So I used a stapler. A stapler works just fine. So I used a stapler. I have a 35-inch long piece of poster board. Now let me also say, you can use a heavier cardboard on the bottom. I'm going to do that with the square baskets. You can use a heavier cardboard on the bottom, but really this is pretty sturdy. But for the sides, I really recommend this flexible type of poster board. So let me show you how I did that. How I cut the fabric out for the poster board. Now, when I made this larger basket, I have little peekaboo windows here, so I cut this extra wide so that when it folds up, hopefully the plaid is going to show through to the other side. Let me show you what I mean. Alright, so I have my piece of flannel that I cut out that is longer than 35 inches because, I think you can see. That is longer than 35 inches. Not sure what fell. Let me see. I don't know what it was. Anyway, something fell off my table. So I have this piece that is longer than 35 inches. I'm going to want, and this plaid is not flush. It's not straight. I like to use plaids because I can use it as a guideline to cut. But I'd say this is 3 to 4 inches on each side. Let me see. Yeah, just about 4 inches. So I wanted just about 4 inches, and it's going to fold over and fold over. You can finish this with ribbon afterward if you want, but it's not necessary. But if you want a very finished look, go ahead and finish this with ribbon. But the first thing I do is, let me see what's on the camera, is I fold the ends under and I glue those down. Let me do that for you. I fold the ends under on both ends and I glue it down. Let's see, I need a longer cord on my glue gun. Let me make sure this is even. I'm not shy about glue on this part. I want it to stay where it's supposed to. This is all the easy part. The hard part is gluing it around the base. But it's not that hard. It's a little bit hard. Okay, so that's glued well. Now I'm going to want to pull this pretty taut. Well, I don't want it to ripple like that. I'm going to want this to be taut because it's going to fold in this way, and a little bit of the fabric might bunch if I don't have it taut. So I'm going to kind of press it to the limit here, hold that in place, grab my glue gun, and glue. Okay, give this one more pull to make sure it's taut. I don't want to ripple, but I want it taut. There we go. Start pushing it in place. Alrighty, looks good. Looks good. Alright, we're good. Alright, now we have this corner piece. We can get fancy and we can make a mitered corner if you want, but nobody's gonna see it. So here's what I do. Let me see if you can tell what I'm doing. I just pull this just a little bit. Just a little bit. That was a little too much. I'm just going to pull it so that there's a little bit of the top piece is peeking out. And then I just fold it over. There we go. Fold it over. And then start gluing. How easy is this? Then start gluing. Let me get my glue gun and get going. Now, I'll probably have to put a little bit of glue inside the fold. I'll show you what I mean in just a second. Let me get this going. Now, this fold right here will need just a little bit of glue to hold it down. I just opened up that fold and put a little bit of glue there. Get another glue gun stick. All right. Let me put a little bit more glue there. There we go. I'm trying to hurry for y'all. I don't want to keep you too long. And as you can see, like I said, you have to get in there and put some glue in that fold area where that, open that up and put that fold in there. Okay. Working on this corner, getting it kind of tucked down so that this upper corner, there we go, that looks good. All right. Now, if I were at home, not demonstrating, I would be working a little harder on getting all of this finished in a perfect manner. Now, let me show you something. This, like I said, these cardboard liners come out. You can take them out. So let me show you how I finished the red and black one. Pretty easy. I just ran some grosgrain ribbon. You could use satin ribbon. You could just, if you wanted to, you can get fancy, although I don't recommend it because it might create a bump. You could fold that under and glue it down, but adding ribbon to it is nice. Then you can switch it out with the seasons. You could switch out these little handles. Anyway, and let me, while I'm here, let me show you how to get the cardboard insert in the first time. The first time you want to put it in, you want to stretch your basket. Stretch the bottom of it, stretch the sides of it pretty good, and then you drop it down in there, and then you have to work it up around your basket. That's a good reason why you want the edges to be flush. But you bring it down around your basket, and then you work that little ridge, you work it around the corner there. Work, yeah. And pull, and pull. Get it up to the edge and then pull on it. Get it up to the edge and then pull on it. Get it up to the edge and then pull on it. Okay, all right. Let's glue. Let's glue this portion needs to be, I want to be fancy and put that one piece right where it needs to be glued around the circumference of the circle. And like I said, flannel is so nice to work with this. So here's how I do this. I start, let me show you. Here's how I do it. I start, I like that, yeah. I start right here and I pick this piece up and I put glue so that it's a big glob just right at that edge. I don't want the glob so big it's going to be all globby toward the front. You might see a little bit of glue, but I don't want huge glob. I want the majority of the glob of glue. I can't believe I'm saying glob of glue. I don't, because it's more than just a little bit of glue. You're going to want a significant amount of glue, and so that when you push this or butt this up to this piece of fabric, and you're going to do it in there. You're not going to do it on the table, or you're going to get glue all over your table. So that when you put this up next to the fabric, that they come together and they bond very well. So let me put the glue on this, and I feel like I'm backward from you guys, but let me put the glue right here, and I know I'm going to add it right here, and I just start in one corner. I don't glue all the way around. I just, at the beginning, I start at one corner. I glue it right here. Well, let me tell you what I do. Then I wrap it around. Once this is solid, once this glue here is solid, then I wrap it around. This is a little bit tricky. I wrap it around, and I'm holding it. Well, it's hard to demonstrate when you're on the camera. I wrap it around, and then I make sure it's all flush in the way I want it, and then I use a stapler and I staple right here. Let me get started. It's hard to show without this being glued, so I'm going to glue. I'm getting ready to glue. Let me show you where I put the glue. I will show you this. Alright, this is where I'm wanting the glue to be. Right here. It's on the edge, and like I said, it's a good bit of glue. It's on the edge, but yet I'm wanting it to come to the edge a little bit toward the front, but I want the main part of the glue to be under on the bottom edge. All right, so here we go. Alright, I think I sunk it down a little too far. You're going to have to sit here with me and bear with me for a few minutes because I've got to let this harden. Alrighty, here we go. We're getting there. We are getting there. And oops! I don't want to lose this here. Alright, we're getting here. Let me let this get a little bit more solid. Alright, so this is getting solid. Alright, so now I'm going to hold this, and I'm going to just kind of hold it right here. I'm making sure that the flannel is catching into the other piece of flannel, and then it comes around and it matches. There we go. That wasn't as hard as it looked. Now I'm going to push this up just a little bit. Yep, it's just like a drum. See? It just fits. I popped it out. Let me open it back up a little bit. Let me pull this up a little. Alright, this is good. This is what I need. Alright, now this is the easy part. Really, it is easy. You just take a stapler and you staple this together. Alright, let me turn it over. See, there we go. And then I can just push from the inside and get that right up to the edge. Just push from the inside. Now I'm going to turn it over long enough to staple up at the top also. Look at how nice that is looking. Easier than you would think, isn't it? Alright. So I'm going to staple right here. There we go. Now all we have to do is glue. I mean, it's really almost together. So here's how I glue. Whoops, see, it popped out. Hold on. there we go. It's right back in there. Okay, so while I'm going around and gluing, I have my hand on the inside. I'm going to start right where I stopped. I have my hand on the inside, and I'm just push the cardboard up just so it's right flush with the edge, and then I just lay a heavy line of glue. That sounds so much better than glob, doesn't it? Alright, a heavy line of glue right here. And I just move it back and forth. A heavy line of glue. I'm going to sit and wait and let that work let that solidify. Alright, so I'm not going to keep you any longer unless you want to watch the whole process, but I'm going to let this solidify. Get glue on my This is just tedious. It's not hard, it's just tedious. But like I said, you can use heavy cardboard for the bottom piece. Well, I don't want to keep you. I do want, Juliana, I want to show you, and any of those that you missed, I'm from Texas. Glob is a normal word for me. Oh, West Virginia has quite a few words too. But the tutorials to go along with the patterns will come later in the week, and that is when I will put them on Etsy. I'm probably going to stay safe. It was good to have you on my side of the mountain. This is starting to solidify, and like I said, it does have globs of glue on it. Can you see the globs of glue? Anyway, that won't matter on this basket. And see, this part is kind of sunk in, and when you get to a sunk in part, you just push it up just a little bit and finish gluing it. And I need to tell you also that the fabric on these handles is not that hard. For the handles is you need a 5-inch wide piece of fabric cut on the bias, a 1/2 inch less than the length of the handle. So you know you're going to need 5 inches wide to wrap around the handle, but the length depends on the length of the handle that you have. So a 1/2 inch less. So this handle is, I've got my measuring tape. This handle is 7 inches. So I would have a 5-inch wide. The 5-inch part wraps around the handle by 6 inches. And then I would sew it all together. I would leave and it'll be in the tutorial. I'll leave an opening in the middle on the side. Turn that rectangular piece of fabric, then wrap it around the handle. Just wrap it around the handle and sew it on. And because it's on the bias, I think it makes the plaid look really cute. Plus, and I don't like to sew on the bias, plus it helps it to wrap into that little oval shape. And like I said, these cardboard inserts can come out if you don't want to glue them in. You don't have to. And you can change those with the season. You could cut those little handles off and change the fabric. Easy, because these fabric handles are not sewn onto the crochet at all. They are independent of the crochet, so you could just slice those right off, put yourself a new cardboard insert, add different decoration, and change with the seasons if you'd like. These would be cute at Christmas time, wouldn't it? It was good to have you on my side of the mountain. Share the video if you would like. I would like for y'all to share the video outside of our little community. I think we have a great community going on, but y'all stay safe. I hope stay inside if it's too cold. Stay off the roads or whatever, but it was good to visit with y'all, and I'll see you later. Bye.